Hello and welcome to Mitv News at 6, coming to you from our broadcast studio here in Lagos. I am Teresa Adeyemi. Thanks for joining us. As work resumes today in the Federal Capital Territory, a visit to the Federal Secretariat showed low turnout of workers. The federal government had declared January as public holiday to mark the New Year 2022 celebrations. Report from the Secretariat in Abuja observed that the Secretariat, which was usually a beehive of activities, was virtually empty. Most offices were locked and a few members of the staff and cleaners were seen hanging around. Some workers attributed the low turnout of workers to the Yuletide season, as many people had traveled. Many workers were not in the office because they had traveled for different programs in their respective villages in spite of the fuel scarcity. Here in Lagos State, it is the second day into the new year, but a slow and gradual start to the hustle and bustle of the city of Lagos is known for after the New Year celebration, during which loved ones embarked on merrymaking. Workers and state civil service resumed work on Tuesday as business opened shop after the Christmas and New Year festive season. But the nation's commercial nerve center was yet to come alive. At the Lagos State Secretariat in Alausa, Ikeja, Mitv News crew observed there was a lull in activities as many civil servants appeared not to have reported for duty. The ever-busy environment of the State Government Secretariat, which usually witnessed of several people, was absent, indication that some civil servants have not reported for work. And some of the ministries, agencies and parastatals visited, their offices were still on the lock and key, while in some others that they were opened, only a few workers were seen at their desk. Some workers who spoke with our correspondent, Fatoki Kunle, said they were energized for work after the celebration of the Yuletide period.
I am fully prepared to give every one of us are fully prepared to give our best to move Lagos State, to move it forward, since the center of excellency.
What can I prepared? Even this morning, as I'm talking to you, before leaving my table, I've written 2 submissions, different types, to show that we are fully prepared for work and we have started fully.
I'm very happy to back to work, and we are prepared. I'm prepared to give my best to the Lagos State government.
First off, compliment of the season, Happy New Year. I mean, everyone actually had time to relax, to to rejoice with their loved ones, and also I want to believe that like everybody should be refreshed, to be back at the office. So as for me, of course, my mind is at work already. Even though as humans we still want to enjoy and all, but then we are here.
Similarly, civil servants in Osun State resumed work in line with federal government directive to commence activities for year 2022 after Yuletide celebration. The State Secretariat witnessed large turnout of workers who resumed with high spirit of expectations, particularly as the state prepares for a next gubernatorial race, which undoubtedly has impact on the welfare of civil servants. The workers were welcomed into the Secretariat with usual tradition of inter-religious prayers organized by the government to commit the new year into the hands of God. The event featured presentation of public service award to junior and senior civil servants who have distinguished themselves in various capacities in the preceding year. Away from workers' resumption into order report, President Muhammad Buhari has appointed Dr. Doyin Salami as his chief economic advisor. Dr. Salami is the chairman of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, PAC. Before his appointment, a 1989 doctorate degree graduate in economics of Queen Mary College, University of London. Doyin Salami, 59, is managing director and head market practice at Kainos Edge Consulting Limited and member of the adjunct faculty at the Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University, where he recently attained the rank of senior fellow and associate professor. The chief economic advisor to the president is expected to address all issues on the domestic economy and present views on them to the president, closely monitor national and international development, train and develop appropriate policy responses, develop and recommend to the president national economic policies to foster macroeconomic stability, promote growth, create jobs, and eradicate poverty, among others. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has waded into the lingering land dispute in Magodo Phase 2 estate. Governor Sanwo-Olu visited the estate on Tuesday and invited all parties involved for a meeting in his office tomorrow, Wednesday. Our correspondent, Fauzia Gbadinyoka Bakare, reports that earlier in the day, Magodo residents had staged a protest over the presence of policemen in the estate. Court bailiffs had also seized some properties in the estate in the enforcement of a Supreme Court judgment. The residents during the protest converged in front of the estate and displayed various placards lamenting over the situation and seeking the Lagos State government's intervention.
So one of the things I will first understand is, both the residents, they are my subjects, the people that have gone to court, they are my subjects, even the police themselves, they're also my subject. So I have the responsibility to ensure that fairness, equity, is entrenched. Everybody has one role to play or the other. The people that have come said they were on Supreme Court judgment, rightly so. The residents that are living here also have proper title, and they have the means to live here, and of course the Nigerian police. So in the car, I've spoken extensively with the Inspector General of Police, the Honorable Attorney General, and we've resolved all of the issues. So what we will see is there's going to be a total stand down. Tomorrow we'll be inviting, the representative of the judgment creditors. We have actually started a committee meeting, but I want to invite them again officially to my office tomorrow by 11 o'clock, to come over, right? 2-3 of their representatives, the state government will be there, the resident association will be there, the police also will be there, so that whatever it is that must.
Chairman of the Magodo Residents Association, Bajo Oshinubi, lamented that despite earlier intervention by the governor and policemen have remained, adding that residents had been living in fear as the policemen move around with their weapons. A leader of the All Progressive Congress APC, Moshood Salvador, has said that electronic transmission of election results is the solution to reducing electoral fraud in Nigeria. Salvador also called on President Muhammadu Buhari to assent to the amended electoral bill. He made the call at an event to host party members under the umbrella of Conscience Forum Group in Lagos. Salvador commended the National Assembly for being modest and passing the amendment bill, which now gives INEC power to transmit results electronically, while appealing to President Buhari to reconsider his position and write his name in gold. Salvador will maintain that technology is the way forward to improving the integrity of elections in Nigeria, especially in modern times, added that it will also put an end to high budget for election and help to reject unpopular politicians at the polls.
About the electorate, because their votes don't count anymore. At this point, if you do the electronic transmission, all these ballot boxes cannot be snatched. Results cannot be changed at every location, at every collation center in favor of the power that be. Electronic transmission of results remove all these corrupt and fraudulent collation, fraudulent centers and services to these agents of evil to get the result direct to the final point. The advantage goes beyond that. Let's talk of time limits. The result that normally takes between 24 to 48 hours before getting to the state or national collation center, it will now take between 5 to 10 minutes to get to all collation centers simultaneously.
Gunmen have killed 7 members of the same family during an attack on Sabon Benin village in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arunwa, who confirmed this, said that security agencies are working assiduously to contain the attacks and also get an update on the number of casualties. According to the locals, the incident occurred on Monday night when the bandits in their large numbers invaded the community and started shooting sporadically, killing the family members in the process. Police authorities are, however, yet to respond to the incident, but community leader Bello Musa said many residents of the village have fled from their homes due to fear of being attacked or killed by the marauding bandits. Still on security matters, a notorious bandit leader, Bello Torje, has freed over 50 kidnapped victims in his custody in Zamfara State following military raids on neighboring bandit camps in Zamfara and Sokoto Forest. Co-chairman of the State Committee on Finding Lasting Solutions to Banditry, Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi, confirmed the development on Tuesday. Dr. Shinkafi noted that the released victims were about 70, adding that the notorious bandit kingpin released them unconditionally. Beyond the military onslaught, which had also led to the death of 2 notorious bandits while others were seriously wounded. It was gathered that the latest development was also made possible following a dialogue that took place between the kingpin and local authorities in Zamfara State. And that's all we have from you from the local scene for now. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you a report from the foreign scene. Please stay tuned.
It's that time of year for the Ad Movies Cheer.
Here we go. Get your noisemakers ready. Let's do it.
For one great price, you get a mammoth month of DSTV premium movies. And as always, we've got a little something for everyone.
Yes.
Like you. Oh, for you too.
Hey! Oh, come on, man. You could get that buffed out.
A little of this, a little bit of your move, and definitely a whole bunch of this.
I love them!
So add more festive to your festive season.
Come home, honey. I'll come home for Christmas.
For the whole month. With ad movies on the My DSTV app or the DSTV website. It's your festive movie moment with DSTV.
This is MITV News at 6. Now to foreign stories. The highly transmissible Omicron variant of the coronavirus has been spreading rapidly in India, where daily infections are setting new records. The country reported the highest number of COVID-19 infections in the past 24 hours since early September, bringing the total number of infections to 34.9 million. That rose by 124 to reach a total of 482,017 as Omicron overtook Delta in places such as the capital, New Delhi. One of the newly infected people was Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, who spoke at an election rally without wearing a mask. Kejriwal said in a Twitter post he was quarantined at home and urged those who came in touch with him in recent days to be tested for COVID-19.
Emerging data from South Africa suggests increased risk of reinfection with Omicron. There is also some evidence that Omicron causes milder disease than Delta.
A prominent Hong Kong activist has been sentenced to 15 months in prison for incitement for a banned video to commemorate those who died in Beijing's crackdown in Tiananmen Square in 1989. Shou Hangtung, the former vice chairwoman of the now disbanded Hong Kong Alliance in support of Patriotic Democratic Movement of China, was under the new jail term in the West Kowloon Magistrate Court on Tuesday. The 36-year-old lawyer is already serving a 12-month sentence on charges of participating and inciting an unauthorized assembly for a role in the 2020 video. Police have banned the June 4 vigils, usually an annual event, for the past 2 years, citing the pandemic. Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi has said former United States President Donald Trump must face justice for his role in the assassination of the top general Qasem Soleimani 2 years ago, or else Iran will have revenge. In a televised speech, the Iranian president said as the main criminal and killer who ordered the deadly drone attack on Soleimani's convoy in Iraq, Trump must face God's ruling and suffer qisas, which is the Islamic term for retaliation in kind. Raisi called for the formation of a fair court in which Trump's former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and other American officials are sentenced and punished. Iran has said Soleimani, one of the most powerful figures in the country at the time, was on a diplomatic mission in Baghdad by invitation of the Iraqi government when the U.S. targeted him near the city's airport. Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah has accused Saudi Arabia of exporting ISIS ideology and transporting cars rigged with explosives for suicide attacks to Iraq. In a televised speech, he addressed Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz. Nasrallah also slammed the kingdom for its close ties with the United States and for the military campaign it is leading in Yemen. Nasrallah's comment came in response to political opponents and critics in Lebanon who criticized the Iran-backed party for damaging ties between the cash-strapped country and Saudi Arabia. Lebanon is struggling to resolve a diplomatic dispute with Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait, which have been critical of Hezbollah for their role in Yemen and other regional conflict. And up next is sports stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Mitv News at 6. Now talking sport, a total of 23 players have arrived at Abuja camp of the Super Eagles, where preparations are ongoing for this month's African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. 3 of the 4 players who replaced members of the squad from the forced list are already in camp. The team is putting finishing touches to their strategizing before they jet out of the country on Wednesday. Nigeria's first game is against Egypt next Tuesday after Stade Rugby at Garua. 5 players are still being expected, and they are Jamilu Collins, Tyrone Ebuehi, Joseph Ayodele Aribo, Samuel Chukwueze, Odion Jude Igalo. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been offered to a number of European and Premier League clubs, with Arsenal desperate to discard of the Gabon striker. The 32-year-old was stripped of the club captaincy in December after Mikel Arteta ran out of patience with Aubameyang following his latest disciplinary breach. Aubameyang hasn't featured for the club since the decision and is currently on international duty with Gabon for the African Cup of Nations. There were indications that Arsenal are so keen to get rid of Aubameyang that they are willing to sell to a direct rival and has been offered to a number of clubs in England and abroad. However, Arsenal has struggled to sell Aubameyang because of his reported £300,000 a week wages. And in tennis, Australian Open champion Naomi Osaka was rustling on a return to action for the first time in 4 men, but still advanced to the second round of the Melbourne Somerset tournament with a 6-4, 3-6, 6-3 win over Aliza Carnett on Tuesday. Osaka will have played competitively when she lost to Leila Fernandez in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open in September. Displayed plenty of a trademark power, but often lacked accuracy at the Australian Open warm-up event. The Japanese player struggled with a forced serve while committing 57 unforced errors, including 8 double faults, as she eventually saw off the former world number 11. The match was the 4th since Osaka announced she was taking an indefinite break from tennis following a loss to Fernandez at Flushing Meadows. And with that, we've come to the end of Mitv News at 6. So don't forget to join us tonight for primetime news at 9:30 p.m. I am Teresa Adeyemi. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening.